10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Radiant team ban.
Nothing quite like that perfect music transition. Welcome back, guys, to the Dota Pit. We're going to have more best 3 action for you today. We got Liquid going up against FlipSid Tactics lower bracket games. So, it's of course all going to be on the line. We're a little bit late, but, it looks about on time for me. I'm Mike Loris. Going to be joined by Blaze. Hopefully everything is going to be working out just fine. How you doing today, dude?
I'm pretty good. It's a nice early morning. I'm getting used to the SCA time zone and transitioning that direction, so it's actually not too early for me as compared to normal American times, but I'm really excited about the match today. I mean, Team Liquid obviously were already up against Faceless or FlipSid Tactics earlier. They're the 2-0 them, so a lot of people will consider this match a bit of a wash, but I've seen a lot of either Rebels or FlipSid, whatever name they were going by at the time, and they have shown real potential. I really do think that, like, a couple of months ago, they were actually one of the better teams coming out of CIS. And yeah, obviously they didn't do so well in their first series against them, but they're especially Vance Core is really hungry to learn from those kinds of matches and look to improve and change things up. So really excited to see what they bring to this game, and of course what Team Liquid bring to the table as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, FlipSid have been like around forever. Tame My Wild, Seedoy, Vanksoy, like these are some real household names. They're kind of hot and cold though. Like maybe that other one was just a cold match, and we're gonna catch them at a little bit more of a hot one right now because I have seen them take down pretty much. They've played well enough to take down pretty much any. That's definitely Liquid included, who have had a little bit of a slow start still working out some kinks for them. But I think they're starting to get it together at least a little bit. And hey, this is not bad way to start. First picking the OD, but leaving the Drow in and then letting FlipSid take not only the Drow but also the IO to back that Drow up. That's quite a risky play there by Liquid.
Should be interesting because, yeah, if the Wisp is available in the pool, you better believe one of these teams is going to pick it up. I'm kind of surprised that Liquid actually didn't opt for the Wisp themselves, but obviously just showing a lot of confidence in Miracle's ability to just dominate on the OD. It's a hero that you can snowball with pretty heavily, and we've only seen a couple of teams really look to like hard counter it. Like we have seen Pugna occasionally come out in a couple of games here recently that were able to shut down the OD because of his high mana costs. But generally speaking, if you can't outlane him, he's still going to be able to contribute a lot. And now they have this kind of counteractive mobility, where OD only has fast movement speed, doesn't really have global presence. Now you have the Keeper Light Recall, which can allow him to jump from lane to lane. So I feel like while it won't be as quick to respond as a relocate is to enact aggression from FlipSid, it's still going to allow them to kind of take tit for tat. And of course, the Coddle's Blinding Light is also going to be really strong against the Drow.
And if you're expecting a kind of mid-gamey Drow Ranger push, Illuminate to clear the creep wave is never going to be something you're going to say no to. So Liquid have run this quite a few times past, so it's not like it's way out of their comfort zone. So yeah, it is a nice little comfort hero for them. Blinding Light is going to be an all-star as it normally is. Let's not kid ourselves here, but talking about outlaning the OD, we've seen a lot of Sniper play being mixed into that. Sniper, Drow, is that going a little bit too deep in that range hero pool, or is it still gonna work?
Yeah, I do feel like the really squishy range heroes, they kind of need buffer cores, heroes that can kind of take the front line and kind of take the focus off of the sniper so he can kind of just sit back and do his thing. Drow is very much in the same boat. Having them both on the same team really reduces the safety net that you have, and it's just going to encourage Team Liquid to pick up cores that will just jump on you. So I do think there's a theoretical possibility of actually Drow taking the mid lane and playing similar to the sniper and focusing more on harass than farm, just to make sure that she can win out the lane against the OD. You could even have the Wisp involved in that lane to give her the sustainability to really trade back and forth. But I don't see Sniper actually being picked up directly. We'll see if the Drow either just free farms and pushes the tier 1 bottom as you'd expect, or if they actually try to take the fight to Liquid.
You'll never expect the Sniper anyway. Like, there's never going to be a Sniper, then bam, Sniper, and then he ruins your games. So as far as tanky cores are concerned, we've seen a lot of Tidehunter picked up in the past with Drow Ranger drafts, Sand King, Faceless Void. Two heroes that I would have expected FlipSid to at least consider keeping in the pool for themselves, actually. Typically, you do need a couple of those tankier space creators, you said, with the Drow Ranger. And you already have this kind of IO defensive hero, so you don't really need to look towards that angle with your Dazzles or Oracles or anything like that. So tanky heroes, in order to buy space for the Drow Ranger, probably a ranged mid hero if they can get their hands on it. Earth Spirit's a hero that we don't see every team picking, but FlipSid do some serious work on him.
Yeah, Roger is a very strong roaming support. Like, of all, obviously there are plenty of good players in Dota 2 that can fill this role set, but he reminds me a little bit of Jerax and how active he is on lanes, just rotating from side lane to side lane all over the map. Like, he can be found anywhere just a minute later, and he plays a lot of Pudge, a lot of this Earth Spirit. So Earth Spirit, in my mind, encourages Darkseer a little bit as far as a off-lane pick, but otherwise I've seen Shoshlo play a lot of Slidar recently, so I think that works out pretty well with the Drow and the Wisp, because you go for a Blink Crush, you set up the relocate, or you just go in for the amp damage and you let Drow let loose. So we'll see exactly what they have in store, but already you know that they're going to be very aggressive against this OD. The Earth Spirit could just kind of camp that lane and make sure that if he ever goes past the steps, that he's going to get punished.
And that's the kind of early game tempo that you really want with the Drow Ranger and Liquid. Now with the Keeper of the Light, don't really have any great heroes that's fighting back against this Earth Spirit necessarily. It will come down to Kuroki's support hero and see whether or not he'll be able to battle the Earth Spirit on that regard. But Bristleback for Team Liquid now. This is a little bit more of a rare hero. It's a little bit more uncommon. Works pretty darn well with Keeper of the Light. Game plan wise, Bristleback hits his power peak at around the same time as Drow Ranger. Is going to want to get into the face of Drow Ranger. I don't hate the pick, although I do think they need a little more build around to really make it great.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm looking at is the simple synergy between Essence Aura and the Bristleback's Quill Spray. It's a 3-second cooldown to spam, and if you're in range of something relevant, then you'll also spam out your Viscous Nasal Goo. This essentially gives Bristleback unlimited mana. So I think we're looking at a bit of a death ball here. Like, I've seen Undying work really well with this kind of thing. Dazzle could do well as well, and just start really getting involved before FlipSid get their feet underneath them. Bristleback, he'll probably build up like something like a Crimson Guard, so that this really fast attacking Drow Ranger loses a lot of her effective damage, and then you just get manly. I mean, you have all the damage you need from your spell, the Quill Sprays. So in this case, with unlimited mana through the Keeper of the Light and the OD, I feel like it's a bit gimmicky, but they could absolutely just kind of go YOLO on this Bristle. You get Chakra Magic to double Quill Spray, and you have OD with the unlimited supply, and from there, as long as you're building tank items, you're able to really make your mark on the battlefield.
Still perhaps a little bit sustain light in order to keep that up, but that's where the Juggernaut at least partially comes into play with that healing ward. Another hero that is more than okay with just diving in. And as far as FlipSides are concerned, Io's not really good at defending up against that. Like, he can yank you out with relocate, sure, but extra movement speed up against Bristleback almost seems like that's going to be irrelevant, even with Drow Ranger kiting as well. Earth Spirit can only do so much to stop a charging Bristleback. Clockwork is going to have a little bit more counterplay there, being able to put up that wall of cogs. So, you know, normally not really a huge fan of Clockwork, although I do think just as far as a space creation hero for this Drow Ranger in the midst of these fights, they really needed to get someone in order to buy that space fairly desperately. Earthshaker type hero, and so there's no room for an Earthshaker, of course. So this is a forced pick here, I think. Team Liquid forced FlipSide's hands into this Clockwork. Of course, on the offensive FlipSide, love this Clockwork in order to get the pick off and then get the towers immediately after, since Bat and Beastmaster both first round banned. But I'm still not sure if FlipSide can handle what Team Liquid are about to push with.
Yeah, so Clockwork is an interesting hero in the hands of Shoshlo here, because I was looking at the stats and I wanted to find something to praise him about as far as his performance on this hero, but it's actually his third most played hero in competitive play. He's played 59 games on it, but he only has a 37% win rate.
Oof.
So he loses far more games than wins on this hero, and I'm curious what actually gives them the confidence to pick it up here. I mean, yes, they have played it recently, they're comfortable with the play style of it overall, but I mean, the stats don't lie, man.
Oh man, that's a rough number right there. It is maybe like a patch thing, I want to say. I'm just trying to justify those stats, and I'm not sure if that's over however long a time period. But I mean, at least at this one, you're going up against two melee heroes that are kind of run at you. I feel like this is going to be at worst an average Clockwork game, and that's, I guess, not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Flip side definitely do need more damage, though. That is going to be a concern right now. Drow Ranger's the only one who I would call real damage dealer. Earth Spirit heavy in the control. Clockwork very much so the same, and you need a lot of damage to take down the likes of a Bristleback, and you have to actually apply that damage to the back line to get rid of the OD as well. So flip side from most likely their mid, looking for a pretty heavy hitter, whereas for Liquid, Bane support? No, an aggro support. They're going pretty much all in on this aggro plan.
Yeah, this will make things very interesting here. It looks like it's going to be Bulba on the Coddle, and then Kuro will pick up the Gondar, and he'll be roaming around very actively. I mean, track on limited mana is going to be great too. You probably only have to go like one set of Arcane Boots max on this team. Like, Bounty can pick it up if he wants, but you could also just ignore it, and maybe we could see a different build from him. But going back to the Clockwork, I feel like the couple of merits in this draft is it is going to be able to lane decently against the Juggernaut. The mana burn on knockback on Cogs, really easy to hit nowadays. But up against either Chakra Magic or a Mango, you're not able to really guarantee that he's not going to get a spin-off. So the Earth Spirit's going to have to really help him out in the lane. Beyond that, it does look like just his past items. It looks like almost every single game that he plays Clockwork, Shotsplit goes for the Blade Mail. And Blade Mail is really good this game, whether against the OD, the Coddle, the Bristle. Like, there's a lot of damage coming out that they don't want reflected back against them. So we'll see how it all plays out, but I do like the idea of having an early Blade Mail here if he can just slightly snowball the lane.
Earth Spirit to leap out on it will be kind of difficult to punish unless they get like mana leak or a lot of stacks of goo or something like that beforehand. I don't hate it, but I still don't think that Flipside have quite enough damage to take down this Bristleback every single time, unless they have just absolutely perfect initiation and perfect positioning.
It depends on his item set, right? Like, if he has a slow start, if they're able to actually force the Bristleback back a couple of times in the lane or actually get kills on him, Mind Control is going to really have a delayed progression. He'll have maybe Power Tread's Wand for a while, but he definitely wants, like, a Vanguard this game, for sure, and maybe, like, a Casual Cloak or actually progressing into Hood or Pipe. So in this context, like, if he has a good start and he's able to really get involved in the lane, then they will be lacking damage and they will be very worried about that, I'm pretty sure. But at the same time, if they're able to deal with this Bristleback early, make it so that Mind Control doesn't get much of the lane, maybe even has to go back and focus on the jungle, and then they steal an Ancient Stack or something, like, those kind of things kind of snowball against you. And as you are lacking one tank item, you're that much squishier, and yet you have to be on the front line. I mean, if Bristleback's not on the front line, who is? So in this position, I do feel that a lot rests on Mind Control's shoulders of getting early farm and just getting at least some raw HP up to deal with the oncoming assault of Flipside. If he can do that, Liquid should be in a pretty good formation.
Yeah, again, like Crimson Guard probably being the ultimate goal, and if you can't get that, just together the parts.
Yeah.
Still really good to get up against Flipside. We've actually seen some teams just have a buckler up against some pretty heavy physical right-click drafts with someone else having the mechanism, and they're just like, okay, I got an armor item for myself. Not recommended essentially every single game, but hey, at least you have that survivability that Mind Control is probably going to build towards, and if he does get off to a good start, then of course that's when things fall off the rails there for the Flipside squad. But it seems like we're having a couple of load-in issues, pretty standard stuff here. Let's go over who's going to be playing what. I don't assume, looking at these heroes, we're going to have any switcherinos just yet, but on the Flipside side, we got Shotchlo going to play the Clockwork, Tame My Wild, or Crazy, whatever you prefer, going to be playing that Marana. Seedoy's Drow Ranger is going to take the field, Bankscore's going to be playing the Invisible Io, and Roger's going to be playing the Invisible Earth Spirit.
So, of course, on the side of the Team Liquid, we're going to be seeing that Miracle OD on the mid lane. You're going to be seeing Matumba Man take the safe lane with the Juggernaut, and that will leave Mind Control off lane on the Bristle. Bulba's got that support Coddle, going to pick up the Courier and all that, and it's going to be actually Kuro, who's spent a decent chunk of his gold, but still gets to start off with Orb of Venom, Clarity, and Tango. So pretty much his bread and butter as he makes his way towards the bottom area and presumably blocks off some camps.
As the wards to do it for sure. There is going to be a Flipside squad coming in though, and they are smoked, so they will know that someone is here. Do they have detection? Yes, they have Dust leading the way. Roger is going to dust the broken roll in now. Going to connect onto the Bounty Hunter. He's going to need some sick juice to get out of this. He's going to give up and just die. Who is going to get the last hit? It's going to be the Marana. That's one of the benefits of smoking out of your base as opposed to just walking out of your base, especially up against a bounty hunter. You get a pretty much perfect read every single time.
Absolutely, and of course the one aspect of TPing down to get those wards out extremely fast is that you don't have any escape out of that situation. So like, if you're hiding behind the trees, the observer ward scouts the enemies that you break the smoke for, then maybe you can just immediately TP before the Earth Spirit can close the distance, but in that case there's really no hope for you. He gets the intel down, but at the cost of his own life, the first blood, and has to get out on the battlefield again right quick. They are one dust less for the early game here, but they've got their sentries. They still got that one dust of appearance, and of course they've got the cash from the first blood. So, as a whole, yeah, eyes are going to be on Kuro and Mind Control on that bottom lane. TMW already starting here in aggressive position, trying to just snipe the bounty rune. Instead, has to skill the leap level 1.
Yeah, it's going to be Liquid breathing easy, at least for a little while, knowing there's no possible way for there to be the aggressive play until there's level 2 on Mirana, but, double bounty rune for the Liquid side. Again, not a terrible way to start. Taking a look at the sentry coverage over towards mid, Temo Wild does have 1. Croaky, though, does have a sentry ward in excess, so he is ready to get rid of that, and he is going to actually get rid of the enemy sentry ward while keeping it alive, which is bonus there, so... Mirana level 1 with Leap up against the Bounty Hunter that won't leave her lane, getting a regen from the Courier. Good luck getting close to the creep wave. When she does, she's going to be going up against an OD who should be able to at least take her evenly, and Croaky's just not leaving her alone. This is just some classic annoying Bounty Hunter play. Down to half HP, Tamo Wild, even with the help of the creep wave, is just not winning this damage trade. And even if the Mirana was doing the damage trade, it's just support here on the Bounty Hunter. So this bounty play by Croaky getting Miracle just all the free time in the world.
Yeah, as you expect, the major game plan for Team Liquid is just to set up Miracle for success, and it doesn't seem to take too much effort. It's just a little bit of time from Kuro, a little bit of regen here and there, and I feel like Team W has actually been like way too far out. Like if the bounty hunter's there, you don't have a sentry ward, you don't have a way of trading, and you're only relying on your fairy fire and your leap to disengage. Just you need to sit within your tower ring and just make sure that Kuro can't actually impact you like that, because bounty hunter starts with like 6 armor, and TMW has a very low base damage even with the precision aura.
Well, they're going in again. She's going to leap out, so the Mirana will be just fine. Got to watch out for the Imprison at a certain point, but points not coming just yet. Seems like mid lane is going to be more interesting. Let's take a look at the perhaps slower lanes. Mind Control going to be going up against the Clockwork in a 1v1 melee brawl to the death. The Clockwork probably is never really going to be able to kill off the Bristleback, who actually did load out with Magic Stick first. Not exactly a super high value item against a Clockwork, but it is still going to get its value definitely as soon as he gets a little bit of mana out of that item. Shacho is just going to flare and should be just fine. But over towards mid lane, Roger, Hasterune, Earth Spirits, I mean, they can push Miracle out, I suppose, but still they have no true sight, and so they may not know that Kroki's right behind them, and this is just a hero that's off the top lane. They were pressuring top pretty hard. You can see Matama Man struggling with the CS.
Yeah, it's pretty much the problem is a temporary rotation, right? It's like not actually enabling you to get a kill on Miracle. In fact, it's not even going to really do much to disrupt the aggression here. Like, he's not casting any spells because there's just no good lines for it. In the end, it's still going to be TMW who's purely on the defensive. Finally gets his bottle out, but Leap on CD is going to continue to play cautious. But yeah, I guess the overall gameplay for FlipSid was to put up enough pressure on the top lane that they could force the Bounty Hunter to focus there. If Kuro is forced to defend the top lane, then his job as a Bounty Hunter is a lot harder because he's not able to get his level 6s quickly, and in general, like, they're kind of controlling where he's supposed to be, whereas the invisibility is supposed to grant the advantage the other way. So if there was enough pressure from FlipSid between the Wisp, the Drought, and the Earth Spirit, I could see the lanes going very differently, but as it stands, Liquid are doing just fine on all 3 lanes.
Even if the Earth Spirit was still on top lane, would that really be a scary enough lane to warrant putting the Bounty Hunter up there? Like, I'm working with the Keeper of the Light and the Spin. If I'm Liquid up against just a kind of a solo damage dealer in the Drow Ranger, I don't know if I would be really scared about that, but I'll be really scared about Mirana's life right now. She's going to bottle up a little bit, get the Starstorm onto Croaky. Arrow's going to go wide, but he will get stunned up still, and will go down to the kick. Roger now going to roll in towards Miracle, who does have now the Imprison to cast. Put the Earth Spirit in a bubble, do some damage to the Mirana. Oh, maybe not just out of the AoE, but Miracle should be fine. Getting caught out in pretty much no man's land, and that's Mirana Leap. Getting value, whereas OD, if he had Leap, yeah, and that probably would have been a little better for Liquid. But
I suppose so. But yeah, that's the big thing, is just early on the movement of OD. He has good natural movement speed of 315, but he's actually went for bottle over boots, so not able to close the distance as effectively there. And it looks like they won't even be able to get TMW. He's just going to get helped out by the Wisp. No overcharge to heal him back up, but nice cake play coming in from Roger will set up a kill on the OD.
And Kroki's still showing himself off in the area. There are sentries here, but no arrow to land. Not that much gas left in the tank for the Moran. A couple of IO spirits will come out, but he should be just fine afterwards. This is Liquid trying to push their kind of super early game advantage, their kind of 1 minute advantage over the Marana, perhaps a little bit too far. OD as far as a killing hero is kind of mediocre right now. This Imprison is certainly very strong. Essence Aura doesn't really do all that much damage though, so I think they are just trying a little bit too hard to completely stonewall Tame My Wild out of this game, and it is starting to cost them just by going into that range, not respecting the Earth Spirit, which I'm sure they will now, but is going to be Tame My Wild at least getting a little bit more back into this game CS-wise, and of course kill assist-wise as well.
Man, this guy's playing a pudge even when he's not playing the pudge. Like, just able to really find those opportunities to pull somebody out of position, and their entire team's kind of designed about it. If you can kind of even zone people with cogs, with the Air Spirit's abilities to hit them with an arrow, or vice versa, like, you're able to really dominate the map and take an early advantage of these fights. So I expect some really cool plays from Roger once more, but up top we have a pretty big stack getting farmed up here. Matama spins on it, Bulba goes ahead and illuminates it down, and we'll see who kind of gets the better of the two.
Roll into an arrow set up to drop Miracle very low, but not quite low enough. Ron, even with the leap movement speed, isn't able to catch up to the OD who just has boots. Another arrow will fly out, connects. That's kind of nice. Bounty Hunter, but it's not the target she was looking for. They do still drive the OD very far out of the lane. He is going to still find kind of a lucky timing break there and is able to refill his bottle and still be at least somewhat relevant. Now he's just going to bail back to his base.
Yeah.
But
that's
landing
much better. You get full HP and you haste
in,
right back to the lane. You'll be in a really good spot here. So I feel like still, like, we obviously see the current advantage is going to be slightly favoring Miracle in terms of CS, and he's getting back on the lane faster. So, like, not with full mana bar and full HP, whereas TMW is going to be floating at half for a while. I do like this early raindrop pickup. It actually contributed to his saving life when the OD went down under tower. And then, of course, he's been able to play pretty confidently because he's had the Fairy Fire in his back pocket as well. So should be able to survive through any of their burst damage, but at the same time, not able to really do enough offensively.
Quick shot onto Mind Control. Support's coming in spades, plus he gets bumped back. And somehow the Drow Ranger sneaks in the last hit with the frost arrows there. So Shopjo setting the team up for a kill. Liquid definitely did not expect just a classic 2-hero TP down to the bottom lane rotation. Drow Ranger was doing okay up towards top, so adding the element of surprise to that kill is going to put FlipSid now at a 4-0 advantage, maybe 5-0, as Kuroki is going to narrowly dodge an arrow, but does still get dusted. So yeah, he's still in a little bit of trouble. Kick is going to slow him down. Star 1 and a couple right clicks. There we go. Roger is 2-0-2. He is buying so much room for this Marana, or at least trying to equalize his lane as much as he possibly can for this Marana. And it seems like FlipSid are pretty much in the spot they want to be. Their Drow Rangers farming okay. Mind Control didn't shut down as much as they wanted.
The double
my god.
Quill.
That's the
He
double
went 2 quills at the
there.
same time thanks to the Chakra Magic. It reduces the cooldown by right now 5, which obviously puts it at a 0-second cooldown. So you just double tap that and you're able to just blow somebody up, especially low armor heroes like the Wisp.
As soon as I said FlipSid were in a pretty good spot, they go ahead and instantly lose their Wisp, but hookshot up towards top lane. Tubman is going to spin onto 2 heroes, doing a lot of damage to this Earth Spirit. Tubman might actually win this damage race. No, stunned up, but actually still able to get the kill on the Earth Spirit. Sneaks in the last hit there. A whole bunch of heroes actually going up towards the top lane in order to solidify that kill, and that means there's no one to protect Seedoy down towards bottom lane. Here we go. Bulba looking for that mana leak. Unfortunately, Keeper of the Light, even with the horse, is not quite fast enough. Mind Control, even with the Warpath, is not quite fast enough. So it is... Oh no, they still got him. Seedoy didn't actually leave. So Kuroki's able to get in there with the Janata proc. Mind Control now going to close in. And the body blocks from Kuroki. Seedoy's not getting any help just yet. There is no relocate. Full Nasal Goose stacks. Short illuminate shot. There you go. Drow Ranger down. Backup is finally coming in. Roger immediately going to get mana leaked as the Bristleback is going to fight to the death. And he has a lot of HP, so he's going to bring down the Earth Spirit. Shacho is able to take down the Bounty Hunter on the backside. Miracle, though, is here now with an Invis rune. I'm not sure if we'll actually know about this. Tame My Wild, he also has a little bit of invisibility of his own. Starstorm 1-2 onto Mind Control with the right click, grabs the kill there, and now he's onto Boba. No real way for Keeper Light to get out of the skipper just by getting out of range or by being bailed out by Miracle. Coming in from the backside is not going to get the kill with the Eclipse, not quite enough. Clockwork is able to finish on Keeper Light. Now Hookshot's back down onto Miracle with Seedoy returning to the fight, shots into the OD, will get Shachlo a double kill. This is probably looking like one of those games where Shachlo's going to be ahead, and Clockworks usually aren't ahead.
Yeah, this is very interesting. It's been one of those situations where like Liquid keep on thinking that they can do certain things based on their heroes, based on certain positions, and they make the aggressive decision instead of the passive one, and it's so far been trading against them. Like the Juggernaut up top, when he had his spin active, he could have just TP'd 100%, but he said, I think that I can not only survive through this, but turn it with the Omni Slash and the fact that the hasted OD is coming top. It turned out not to be the case. He got silenced instantly and killed off, and then Miracle just had to walk away. Now down bottom, like they're chasing down this Mirana. Miracle overrates his damage a little bit, keeps on the Mirana, and all she does is peel back the neutral creeps to set up the hook and set up that kill on the OD. So now Miracle has died twice, as well as Juggernaut once. These core kills are really going to be counting against Liquid as they're looking to progress. The only thing that's surprisingly really working for them is this Bristleback. Mind Control, top of Liquid's net worth, thanks to some help from the Coddle and 2 kills and 2 assists.
Oh, but the Clockwork is still on the roam, whereas for the Bristleback, he's a little bit more static. So Shachlo can get himself ahead while putting the enemies behind, and Bristleback is a little more of a linear scenario there. But we still got a lot of heroes converging down towards the bottom. Looks like Kuroki looking for someone to track up. Not quite going to find his target just yet, and it may just be FlipSid camping around with this Clockwork to find the first hit. Definitely a very tense moment. As far as the map vision is concerned, Dire actually do have a lot. Between 2 Observer Wards, they see a lot. Between Kuroki wandering around, they see even more. Now they see a potential target in the Drow Ranger. There is still no relocate here for the IO. Seedoy is going to get 1v1 by Kuroki, whereas Mind Control is going to drive away that small IO, and Seedoy's path blocked by Illusion Runes. Either forward will break those trees and get him a little bit more room to move around, but now the Manalese coming in, but backup coming to space here from flip side. They got Mind Control with the cogs. Shachlo's right on his tail, and with the frost arrows, they'll get him down, stunning the Juggernaut with an arrow in the meantime. He's doing literally no damage. Shachlo hookshot's back in, triple kill for the clock. The other 2 heroes of Liquid, very, very weak. Tame My Wild, 6 seconds left for an arrow. I don't think they have anyone who could actually get in there fast enough unless this arrow lands. Here we go, it's coming in. Miracle sidesteps it, we just fine. There's a relocate coming in. Kuroki's gonna go down to the south. Bankscore has the bubbles out. Miracle down by the Mirana, double Starstorm, couple more right clicks, and it's Clockwork to steal another kill for himself, but it doesn't matter. Got the kill. Now 7-1-3 on this clock, and Liquid getting into what looked like a pretty good fight until everyone from FlipSid showed up.
Exactly, that's the thing, is they have to be aware that there's going to be an instant reaction. The reason that Liquid still decided to take that fight is the potential value in track gold. If they were able to just focus on a couple of targets quickly enough and even break even in that fight, it would have been tremendous, because there's a little bit of comeback gold with the graph in their disadvantage, and there's a lot of track gold flying out with all 5 heroes involved. But unfortunately, they were only able to get 2 kills. I believe one of those was tracked, one of them not, and they lost so much more as a result of it. So just, again, really good movement, really good reaction from FlipSid, and it feels like Liquid are just kind of being outmatched in terms of just these early exchanges. Now this is gonna once again snowball quite a lot if Liquid can't get their bearings and at least take the defensive stance in the next fight. Because if they continue to go out into the enemy jungle looking for these fights, then they're going to be most likely just being killed off by the Clockwork and the Drow.
Well, they're going to keep up with this momentum, at least Liquid, trying to leverage its Bounty Hunter pick as much as possible. Going to smoke up and find, well, look at this kind of looks familiar. 2 targets, relocate is not up for another 2 seconds, but that shouldn't be relevant here. They're going in pretty deep, and there's a tower that they can teleport to. Toman does not have an Omni Slash. They're going to track up Seedoy. Bankscore gonna not channel the relocate just yet. Now he starts, and he will die before he can get that stick. EP Sport is coming in spades. Roger, though, gonna get bubbled. Arrow from the back line. Hookshot in onto 2. Kills off the Keeper, and now they're onto Miracle as well. Can't right-click at all because shot shows every single one. Now Mind Control on the run. I'm not really sure how he escapes this, aside from just out there. Clockwork behind him. He's going to turn around, apply a little bit of slow, but everyone and their mom is chasing after Mind Control. Lands the cogs. Dodge with the Force Staff pick up first. Is doing some serious work, in Liquid for like the third or fourth time in a row, decide to go a little bit too deep just to get a handful of track kills, which they get on the IO.
Yeah, but like, is that really that worth it? Is the question, and to be honest, like the answer is just absolutely not. Like in this case, what their problem is that they're fighting in an area where there's going to always be a quick response because there's easy TPs, the tier 1 and tier 2 in the mid lane. They're relying entirely on the element of surprise, and if a fight drags out even a few seconds, then suddenly it's extremely problematic. They don't have the burst damage and the raw ability to jump on a target to bring them down within a few seconds, and that means that FlipSid are going to have plenty of time to get all 5 heroes in position and get kills back the other way. It's just like if they found the drow while he was farming a camp, brilliant. They get a one-man track kill. We do see an arrow actually bottom, and that should be enough to bring the jug down. So, but yeah, if they find like a drow ranger and they're able to just pick him off real quick while farming jungle camps, they get a track kill for 5 heroes. Brilliant. That's really good. But the second that doesn't happen and it starts dragging out, you start seeing the kills go very far the other way. And now suddenly, Shotchlow, the off-lane Clockwork, is 7-1-7, has a 4-staff and blade mail, and that 37% win rate is seeming to tip the other way.
Sometimes you're on a good 1/3 day, and it looks like this is definitely one of those days. Not to say that Liquid aren't out of it just yet, but it seems like they tried to hit one too many aggressive plays without having many item timings. In fact, like the only item they actually had that was, you know, a hugely relevant item has been this Vanguard for this first back. Like OD is working with Power Treads, Ring of Aquila, like that actually doesn't matter all that much. Juggernaut just now completes up a Yasha, and survivability wise, he's just not able to get in there fast enough and do the damage and still get out, especially since he didn't have the Yasha beforehand. Looking at the other side now, FlipSid have had this 4-staff for Clockwork a long while. Drow Ranger has a Dragon Lance, plus I think FlipSid just naturally do more damage with their spells and with their being ahead in experience. So if Liquid are going to actually take a fight, they need to kind of balance out this item deficit now that they find themselves in. 4-staff or anything really on the OD. Looks like Drums first is going to be kind of the first tool that he really needs. Any sort of sustain, any sort of way to stay in those fights is going to be crucial. But you know, Drum into 4-staff into Hurricane Pike for OD at this rate is going to come at like what, 25-30 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be very slow progression at this point in time. All they can really get aggressive with is the Mirana, because she has to leap out of the cogs, but everybody else has pretty poor options for disengage tools. There is going to be a glyph on mid, which means they're going to be able to go in really hardcore with mind control on the front line. This might be an opportunity for them, but all they have to do is just leap away. Like I said, TMW is the one that can stay the furthest back, and even the mana leak didn't seem to matter too much there. So yeah, as a whole, Liquid are now bringing 5 heroes just every single fight, because anything less and they're absolutely going to lose it, and they're just going to try to force an objective of their own down the mid tier 1.
They don't really have a ton of tower pushing damage right now. They are very hard to dislodge because no one's able to get on top of this healing ward. So Mind Control has a billion HP regen per second, which is kind of nice. They do have to worry about Shotchlow coming in instantaneously. Roger very much so. The same with that Earth Spirit. So Liquid, we may see a fight where just right off the bat they lose someone, or someone is put into such a current position that they're going to be irrelevant into the fight, and they will separate and kind of back off. But while this is happening, while FlipSid are holding, they're also farming. COA is, you know, just doing Drow Ranger things up towards top lane. Mirana's still going to go for the tower destruction, gets it as well. Liquid are 5-manning, not farming, while FlipSid are taking objectives and farming the Drow Ranger. This is not a way to win the game as Liquid.
Yeah, so in this position, it's going to get more difficult for Liquid. I mean, they have to actually go on the Bristleback and pick up the mechanism on him, just because Kuro's had such a rough start. He should be definitely the one carrying the mechanism, but because he has gotten maybe 1 track kill out of the past like 10 minutes, so he realizes that that's not going to be economically viable for him, and ends up opting to have Mind Control pick it up. So Mind Control's got the mech, has the Vanguard, and will have the Crimson Guard in the long term. But in the meantime, FlipSid have just been able to control the map, push out all these lanes, and just keep full control, now finding dust on Kuro himself.
Nowhere to run, Kuro. He's going to get bubbled for a couple seconds. He'll be saved. Shotchlow ends up losing all of his mana because of the 4-staff. Double combo onto the Bounty Hunter. Starstorm will kill him off. Now the disengage. Shotchow's going to stun up Miracle. Cog to bump back 2 heroes. Miracle jumped in on by Rogers. Going to get obliterated first thing. Now here comes the help with Zito and Vanning Score relocating in onto the back. They're going to leave him alive in a show of mercy, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll clean that up in a little bit.
Maybe.
They actually backed off and now he's on the run, so they wanted to help out the Earth Spirit, who end up dying on the side, but instead they kind of miscommunicated. Now Mind Control with his Vanguard is going to get
Finally
a lot of
will fall,
distance,
yeah.
but not quite enough. Does go down to the arrows of the Mirana. What is that? Plus 50 damage from the Drow Ranger aura. And that looked like probably one of the better fights from Liquid. They used the Omni Slash, but still just not enough gas in the tank. This OD needs more items.
Yeah, better only by comparison. The fact that almost every fight leading up to this one has been extremely lopsided. At least they get something in exchange there, going for the Omni Slash play, kind of isolating one target. And Mind Control creates some space with that extra track movement speed. But yeah, end of the day, they didn't have the mech yet for that fight. It was still in stash once that fight broke out, and it's so hard to keep your heroes in fighting shape when there's that much damage coming out from FlipSid. Team W now with the Ags and the Blink Dagger, always going to get that double Starstorm out of whatever target he wishes. Actually, you're going to see Bounty Hunter step a little bit too far out of a safe space, and I guess walks right under a Sentry Ward. Or no, the dust came out too. So either way, however they knew he was there, they popped the dust and down Kuro goes.
Another kill for FlipSid. They even needed, like, they already have this Aghanim Scepter on Mirana, which is really the thing that Liquid wanted to avoid as much as possible. Just run at her, try to keep her out of farm, and that's pretty much what the entire mid lane was about, trying to keep the Mirana from farming. We can see how well that did. I mean, the Mirana is 0 and 11 right now with not only Ags 20 minutes in, but also Blink Dagger on top of that. So pretty obscene amount of farm here for Tame My Wild, and double Starstorm is going to be really backbreaking, especially for the softer heroes. Bounty Hunter, only level 7, is going to almost insta-die to that combo. Keeper of the Light, not going to fare that much better, and hell, even looking at like the Juggernaut right now, when he gets the ultimate orb for Manta style, it'll be a little bit better, but still he is fairly soft. He's not able to spin out that damage. So FlipSid have almost full control. The draft that really wants to hit this 20-30 minute timing. So Liquid are going to pull out something big, and that starts off with not losing Bulb, but that's not going to happen. Mirana jumps in after landing an arrow and leaps out. So yeah, there goes Keeper, there goes your counter push.
Yeah, it's just a really tough position to be in here because you have so much mobility in the Mirana. She can snipe anybody. The Clockwork is just perfect for closing distances here. He has 4 staff as well as level 2 hook. So if they have vision on a target, they have a kill opportunity. And this is going to make things hard for Liquid to maneuver because they're much more like a flying fortress kind of a thing. They can do a lot of damage. They can soak up a lot of damage. At least the Bristleback can, but they can't move that quick. They can't react that dynamically because like they don't have 4 staffs. They have track movement speed, but only they're actually already in position to really benefit from it. So while FlipSid are moving all over the map, making these really cool quick pick plays, we're seeing Liquid just kind of meander over, just a gradual movement towards the opposition. We do see Roger cut out by the Mana Leak though.
Well, he's going to fight to the death, gets silence on the double, and actually gets
very
taken
nice.
out. Okay.
Vanscore actually barely had tether active, so he was probably hoping to be on the south side of the river, ends up being on the north side, but either way, looks like he's going to be
Can he tether out?
track
He's going to get a
casualty.
lot of distance towards Asha, who's also running away. Vanscore
Oh, wow.
saving the Earth Spirit and then saving himself. Liquid just got styled on hard. I mean, that just is like a feel-bad play, but they need every single kill, even if it is on a quote-unquote support hero from FlipSid. I mean, this Earth Spirit's got a freaking veil, so I'm not really sure if we can still classify him as such. Mind Control gonna teleport into 3 heroes. Not sure if that's a great idea, but Gus is gonna also catch the OD in the back line. Double Starstorm, that's a kill. Takes a lot of damage on the Mirana, but that's okay, because Shacho's gonna go in onto Miracle. We'll respect that OD. Tame My Wild not exactly super strong right now. The IO is somehow going to last hit Bounty Hunter. That seems about par for the course in this game. 2-0 FlipSid plus a tower. Not losing anyone. This is just getting worse and worse for Liquid.
Yeah, just doing extremely well right now, moving forward, and they have been able to take just fight after fight. Now another objective in the tier 2 middle. Fanscore just playing a Houdini here and really making the most of just the lack of mobility again from Liquid. Like if there is an imprison there during the tether, then it's still dead west, but OD has to get there first. And Miracle has just been underfarmed. He's unable to mobilize, and FlipSid have just been able to hit him from every angle. So able to really limit what Liquid have been able to accomplish in the past few minutes. And look at this Drow Ranger. Sidoi now has 4,300 gold. Can literally pick any item in the shop and be there within minutes. So at this point, with it at 3-minute mark, being able to just straight up buy a Manta style and 600 gold, that's incredible. He's able to do so much right now. And I assume the next objective will be Roshan, which will be very difficult for Liquid to actually defend, even with a Coddle.
Cedo is also pretty quickly approaching that level 16 mark. It's only 23 minutes in the game. He's already level 14, so he's going to have that additional boost in damage in just a little bit. And going back to Bank Score, we were kind of both surprised that IO was actually available to be picked. Both of these teams love their IO. We could see clearly FlipSid, because of plays like that coming out from Bank Score, Kuroki very similar for the Liquid side. Letting him in, letting the Drow Ranger in as well. I mean, that might have just been going to be the factor that killed them off right from the get-go before any hero has actually been selected, but definitely not doing them any favors right now. Man, hook shot in by Slasho, Cog bounce back to extend the stun.
Very nice. Very
nice. By Arrow as well. Perfect execution FlipSid. Putting those stun bars to know when to throw those out, because FlipSid, they know, and now they're in a position where they can start poking at the tier 3.
Yeah, it gets pretty difficult to defend from here. I mean, losing the Juggernaut like that, if you buy back, then you're just in as bad of a position as if you don't, it seems. You're going to lose your tier 3 tower for sure, but we're actually going to see the OD TP bottom. Notice that there was a TP now unavailable for Vanscore, but the Moonlight Shadow might be enough to get him away. No, doesn't disjoint it in time, but while he's gone, they go in up on top.
Oh, Mind Control gets walled out of his base because of the Cogs, gets bumped back once, is gonna hit with an arrow, right clicks from the back, is still gonna do enough damage. Stacho is gonna die though. The tower shot and the almost fully charged Illuminate from the backside of Liquid's base, so I guess that's something. Evenly trading at this point for Liquid is as good as it gets. They are still gonna maybe lose this tower, it's gonna be denied. I guess that's something for the Liquid squad, but still not.
That's actually
that
really
great.
good though. That's like they were considering having to buy back on the Juggernaut. They didn't have to do that to defend Rax. They got lost the tier 3, but they're able to sort of use again that Chakra double cool spray combined with the Illuminate, defend the high ground like that, and get the kill on the clock. That's so big. So I feel like Bulb will play that situation really well. And I mean, Liquid, they're not much better off, but it could have been a lot worse considering that pick off on the Jug.
I mean, it's hard to kill off the Clockwork with Flayed Mail with pure physical damage from a Bristleback, pretty much just a Bristleback there. And Liquid make it happen. They still have the top lane of Raxus revealed, so that is something that they have to concern themselves with in the future. But if they can keep making slightly even trades, I think the IO he might have been tracked up on the bottom lane because he was in top lane, so there might have been just a little bit extra gold for the OD. Let's assume it was. OD's gonna get himself 4 staff off of that, but Kuroki is gonna dodge both the boulder kick and a hook shot and an arrow, I suppose, but he can't dodge a Star Storm. He's gonna need some help. 4 staff down to the south where everyone from FlipSid is waiting. Now the jump in onto the Keeper of the Light. He's down. They kick him back into the cogs. Roger is still on fire. That's confirmed. Mind Control on the way out. And Matoma Man's gonna spin TP. He'll be just fine. Mind Control spotted. Got tagged with Frost Arrows.
Wow.
He's quick though.
They can force him. They could absolutely do this. But they're actually leaping forward the Earth Spirit and the Marana instead of force staffing the Sedoi, where you could just keep the Frost Arrows on him pretty much indefinitely. But all the same, like, great fighting from FlipSid. I mean, massive kill advantage, 30-12, pretty much speaks for itself. Sure, there's a few track kills out there, but for the most part, FlipSid just in full domination. All Juggernaut really could do in that situation was just go in the backline and kill off the Wisp, and I mean, what does that really mean at this point in time? We get the Drow Ranger on Roshan. She's going to be getting level 16 off of this Rosh kill, most likely, and then, of course, getting the Aegis to siege with. This is going to put them in pretty much a perfect position to take the high ground. Presumably top lane, as that has already been kind of broken down a little bit with the tier 3 missing. And from there, Liquid, they've got to pull out some really outstanding defensive plays with the Keeper of the Light.
It's going to be a lot more difficult now that Tame of Wild has an Ethereal Blade. Like, Keeper of the Light is the best way for Liquid to stall this out. And we can see already he's going to start getting that going. But he's got to dodge shots from the Clockwork, and with the Flare Vision, yeah, it's going to be difficult to do that. If you do get spotted out, Marana has a Blink shotgun into Leap Out, which is going to insta-kill, probably maybe enough damage to like kill him twice over. So we have a relocate up towards top lane, but Man is going to blink out before the first arrow connects.
Yeah,
like
but half of the objective of this relocate was just to push out the lane and make it so that they don't have to trade a tower. They don't actually have to kill the Juggernaut to accomplish at least the value of that relocate. It's on cooldown for 70 seconds, whatever. They can't use it to escape. They can only charge forward. And they're going to go right in on the OD.
Oh, he's going to die to the Cog pushback. That is you know, even a hero with a little bit of health mixed in, still getting almost insta-killed by that combo. And Juggernaut's just not pushing fast enough. You cannot outrace a Drow Ranger here. Mind Control is dodging every single spell until he gets hit with the first stun. Jumping for Tamar Wild. 1 Starstorm, 2 Starstorm. Mech will keep him alive, but the Frost Arrows, it's too sticky. Roger's gonna get the kill with the ultimate. Now looking for Bulbo, who's just cowering in his fountain. Everyone's being tracked up, so if Liquid pull out a miracle here, I guess there's some payoff, but it looks like that ship has sailed. Raxes have fallen in favor of FlipSid just 28 minutes in, and they're gonna say, screw it, we're gonna go whole hog, we're gonna go in for the middle lane as well. It's gonna last for like 5 seconds or something like that. Matoma Man is finally back in, looking for Roger, is gonna stop the roll out. So maybe they get the Earth Spirits, like maybe they get him. They
But in the
probably
meantime,
will,
they've
in fact,
lost 2
Moonlight
lanes.
Shadow against Track, bad matchup there for the Rana, but they lose Raxes.
Yeah, they get a gem out of it, a great kill in that capacity, but being 3 racks down to 29 minutes is not where you can really be at a game this lopsided. Now we've got like a 17,000 net worth advantage for FlipSid, and just across the board, they get a whole item advantage over their opposition. I mean, you look at Mirana, 17,000 net worth. The closest one for Liquid is Matumba's 13k. Juggernaut, and you have to think about the fact is a hero with so much magical burst damage, she's actually going to be looking to burst down support. So you compare her 17,000 net worth to the poor 3,800 or 4,500 of Bounty Hunter and Keeper Light. I've actually I'm having trouble remembering when's the last time I saw a Bounty Hunter this underfarmed, unless the game is over by like 25 minutes. Like this Bounty Hunter, like it's one of his abilities just hands him money, and he's bottom net worth by far.
Oh, and then he gets randomly hookshot. I guess he took the bullet there from Miracle, so supporting heroes doing their job, I guess. But, I mean, all the tracks have been landing, but no one has actually been able to get any kills on Liquid. Now the shotgun in, onto the OD. There's an ag on shotgun, so he's going to hook the shot right back in. Nice balanced cooldown there on the Clockwork. With no OD, like, they already have damage issues. They can't defend 4v5 up against this, and they don't have much time either. Mind Control's gonna dive in. He's got a lot of sustain items, like, he's pretty well equipped for this, but they could, at a certain point, just ignore him and just start right-clicking down the buildings, because he's not really a threat. He's gonna get gusted back, shotgun, almost gonna insta-kill Mind Control of all heroes. Roger's gonna push everyone back. And now they're all infected, so damage over time gonna start ticking. Roll in, back towards Mind Control, hookshot in, jump in as well. Starstorm, BKB is even popped there by Tamar Wild. If that's even necessary. Liquid don't even have magical damage at this point. Tamar Wild's gonna jump in, grab the Keeper of the Light kill, and they're just actually fountain farming right now. GG is called.
Really tremendous play from FlipSid. Like we said, they were fully capable of taking this game through just really good team play and good aggression, but did not expect it to come out that quickly and that dramatically. Like, we looked at the lanes, and the level 1 trades between Mirana and Bounty Hunter seemed to favor Liquid really heavily. Miracle was set up for a really good lane, and even like the Haste Rune Earth Spirit didn't do much to Miracle. Like, Miracle looked like he was set up for a lot of success in that lane. Bottom lane, you lose out to the Clockwork of